The entire time we were shooting the threesome, he was dying. There was snot everywhere and his eyes were bright red. He was in so much pain. And in the middle of our threesome, we all left.
2 girls pregnant.
So after thousands of years of perfection, the pull-out method has finally failed.
Hi, I'm Zoey Deutch, and this is Set Stories with Collider. So actually, funnily enough, the actual threesome that we shot was the last thing that we shot of the movie altogether. And also it was in a house that I think many cats lived in. And Jonah is severely allergic to cats. So the entire time we were shooting the threesome, he was dying inside and there was snot everywhere and his eyes were bright red and he was being such a trooper, but he was in so much pain. And in the middle of our threesome, we all left because it was lunch, and all 3 of us went to CVS to get him any and all the allergy meds, and he took all of them, and they still didn't help. So that really sticks out to me as a really sexy element of our threesome. You know, it's kind of the vibe that I felt so bad for him, and he was such a trooper, and we never got down to the bottom of how many cats lived in that home, but I believe it was many. So because you see her at different stages of the pregnancy, we had I think 4 different bellies. There's different types. There's like the silicone ones. There are ones that are just a little harder. There are ones that have kind of like sand in them. Because I was also pregnant in the movie Juror Number 2, and I got to keep my belly from that one. I don't know what I need that for, but I have it. I was really oddly anxious about the different bellies. I wanted them to look right, and I didn't want them to look fakey, and I wanted them to feel like the right sizes for the times. And obviously everybody's body reacts differently to pregnancy. So there were a lot of varying opinions about the sizes. And if I'm being very honest, they're not the most comfortable, but I am hesitant to say that given the fact that I imagine people that have really experienced pregnancy will be like, you have no idea. It was a fake belly. There's a scene where my character is getting an ultrasound done, and Chad actually found a real doctor and a real pregnant woman in Little Rock, and they were in the corner doing a real ultrasound, and that's what's on the screen next to me while I have a fake one on. And I have a photo of this really lovely pregnant woman and her doctor, and I'm on camera, they're off camera, and the extra funny element of that is that the pregnant woman didn't know if she was having a girl or a boy and didn't want to know. And so she kept saying to the doctor, don't tell me, don't tell me.
Sorry, did you forget something?
Other than a condom?
This is too good.
It made it that much more real. And I was like, I wonder if anyone's ever done anything like this. Because you can obviously easily change that and make that happen in post-production. But Chad found a pregnant woman and said, will you be in our movie? It wasn't stressful at all. I mean, we had a really wonderful time, and it was a great crew. We shot in Little Rock, Arkansas, which I hadn't been to or shot in, and I didn't know much. Everyone was so warm and fun and welcoming, and it was a really lovely experience. And I don't think that there needed to be anything added to, make it more light. It was a lot of like joy and laughter and hanging out, and we went to the hot springs all together, and Jonah played pickleball all the time. Yeah, it was lovely. It was just a very easy, warm environment. My script, my binder, which always ends up looking really chaotic and like gross and unorganized and insane. And it just ends up being my purse. Like everything you could ever imagine is in it. It's a binder with the script with all my notes and things and ideas and whatever. But then it just becomes chaos. And I spend half of my life on set looking for it. Where did I put it? Because when you put something down, if they change the shot and then they move the equipment, it goes with it. And then I'm constantly like, have you seen my binder? Do you know where my, and it's big. I don't know how I keep losing it. You know what is a weird part about making movies is that you're like sort of shuttled around and you're sort of you're plopped down into a place and then put into a place, and there's not a lot of like agency or like awareness. And so sometimes it feels like it was a set and it wasn't a real place. And I've made a conscientious effort in my life now to really be like, where am I? What am I doing? I'm here. And I kind of probably sound crazy when I do that, but I've been back to so many places that I've filmed in and been like, why have I been here? Deja vu, it's like a dream. And then I remember I've spent, an entire week shooting something there. But that one in particular, of course, that was amazing and very unique. Shooting in New York can be difficult outside. You can't stop for sirens in New York. But like for this one, we shot a lot outside and everybody was so accommodating and welcoming and excited and very, very helpful helpful. I have a lot of gratitude to everybody that was so integral and helpful in us making this movie, The Threesome. It was a nice departure from sometimes when you're filming it, you feel like you're a nuisance, and people were really excited. I should say though, people didn't know that our movie was called The Threesome. They thought it was called Three's a Crowd because we were getting some mixed negative responses. Local people thinking we were filming a different kind of threesome, not theatrical film version of The Threesome. So it had a different name. A very simple but really effective tool that was given to me by one of the great actors, Mark Rylance, when we did a movie called The Outfit, was when the rhythm of a scene isn't quite clicking, you do the scene as fast as humanly possible. Top, tail, pocket, da-da-da-da-da. That's all you're focusing on is the rhythm, as fast as you possibly can. And then you do it again right after, as slow as you possibly can. And then you do it a third time and you don't think about where you're gonna go. Your body and mind latches on to either the more kind of slow and thoughtful or the really quick. It's so simple, but I found that to be a really effective and helpful tool when, like I said, the rhythm of the scene isn't clicking.
Well, Zoey, thank you so much for your time. It's been such a pleasure talking to you and getting the chance to meet you. I'm excited for people to see The Threesome as well. So thank you so much for the time. And yes, it was very nice to meet you.
Thank you. So nice to meet you. Thanks for all your great questions.